try to remind my friends, like every audition and this whole journey, these are all wins. And it's all about the experience for me. I just want to collaborate with people that inspire me, and that's why I want my life to be just working all the time. So, but I even messed up the audition. We're all taught, or at least myself and many of my fellow actors I know, like you put one person on this side of the camera and pretty much everybody else over there.
Mm.
Um, but I was so excited and caught up in the moment that I kind of talked to the guy like he was right next to me, and I made him just so tall. I don't know
Oh,
why.
so interesting.
It was also very funny, and I think this might have helped me get the job. And we'll talk more about this later, my waspy type and how I let my quirkiness through, which was a key for me,
Mm.
not being assistant, and also I think for booking. But and she was like, "That's it," and I was like, "Yes, I did this." And then she's like, "Oh, we need the slate," and I was like, "Janel Koloski, 5'8", New York City."
I mean, that's one of the wonderful things about whether it's a Zoom audition, a live Zoom audition, or an in-person audition is we do get to let our personalities come through. And that is something that I know a lot of actors have been missing since the pandemic and since being mostly on just sending self-tapes.
And oh, one final thing is,
Yeah.
I think I learned through the relationship roadmap, or maybe a mastermind, or who knows. There's so much wonderful information to really talk to people on set. And I think that's helped me too. That got me called back for like American Horror Story. Like before my scene, I made sure to talk to the director for like 15, 20 minutes because I wanted to. But before I would have been afraid to do that. But
Yeah.
starting to look at people as collaborators and we're all in the same team helped me. I mean, I talked to Laura Linney after. I never would have done that before. And I just went up like, I admire you as a human and as an artist, and thank you. And then she threw me, she said, "Thank you for your patience." And I was like, "What? This is like a master class for me." Bye. So
Yeah. So you feel like, yeah, I mean, that's one thing we learn in the relationship roadmap, our course on networking, that um it takes away the icky part of networking and makes it just about relationships, and you're just connecting with other humans and artists as other humans and artists rather than someone who can help you advance your career. It's we're never using people. We're always I'd say it's more about appreciating people and connecting with people authentically so that we're, you know, building these relationships that will hopefully last for our whole careers, because that's what a career is built off of. It's those relationships that are built over time, and people learn to trust you, and you learn to trust them, and you then figure out who you want to work with and how you want to work with people.
I reached out to the script supervisor from American Horror Story, and I didn't know this, but her sister's son has autism, and it's pretty crazy. My mom actually changed the school system and got speech services for kids with autism in the 90s. It was a whole crazy thing.
Amazing.
But still today, the script supervisor's sister is still fighting school districts to give her son basic things. And that's the hard thing about,
Mm,
having someone with special needs. It's just like you're just trying to make them part of society, and people
yeah.
just so hard. But I didn't know that. So that was a beautiful thing. You might get ignored, but
Yeah.
whenever you got to just move through that to connect with the right people. I had no idea. I just like on a whim was like, she was cool. I think I connected to her. And then I found out we had like a cool bond. And now
Mm.
the script supervisor, I don't even know how many shows she's supervised, but she wants to help me like raise money for
Oh
this.
my God. She wants to help you raise money for the film you're making.
Yeah. And she's like,
That
when
is,
you have yeah, she's like guiding me. But if I had never reached out to her, and I was scared, I was like, "Oh, I think you're really awesome and you're so cool on set and
oh,
I'm doing
wow.
this thing and I admire you. Would you meet me for coffee?" And she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Ah." So
That's what it's all about, connecting authentically to these people on set. And it's just, yeah, building that community around us within the industry is what helps build a career of longevity.
well, I'm feeling empowered and excited about your career. I think there's this weird thing where there's a lot of artists that just sit there and they're like, "Oh, nothing's happening." But when you're doing all this stuff and you're like taking the reins, then every day is exciting. You're like, "I'm gonna send 10 scary emails today and see what happens." And then it's just like life is in motion. I think it's weird. Like I had to work through the guilt of being seen because I mentioned earlier I'm making a film about my family, and my brother has autism. So, I was kind of invisible at home, not necessarily in a negative way. It's just there's a lot of therapists coming in. There's so much going on, but we would go outside and he would be invisible. So
Mm.
It was always a weird thing. And so I'm very hypersensitive to taking in the room and seeing like how people are feeling.
Mm,
Because I had to learn that with my brother to pay attention to his behavior and energy,
yeah.
because sometimes he couldn't use words. And so that really inhibited me because I could tell when I was shining or doing well or just being myself when that bothered people. And
Mm,
that was my biggest hump to get over. I had to learn that, shrinking yourself smaller to make other people feel better is not good. It's not good for anybody. It's not good for you because you're not being yourself and you're babying them. You're not pushing them to find themselves. Because I thought, oh, I'm being so kind. No, you're limiting them from doing their work. And so now with my auditions, I always do a safe take, especially in this
mm.
world of self tapes. And then I do a Janelle take. And I think that's helped me book a lot because I've brought my quirkiness into my characters.
This was so inspiring, Janelle. Thank you so much for talking to us about how this has gone for you. I'm so excited to see the project. So it's called Black Rabbit and it's coming out early this year, early next year,
Early next year on Netflix.
2025 on
Yes.
Netflix.